find this clip. Dude, what the fuck is this? Can I just ask, just like, hey, what the fuck is this? Hey?
And so that's it. America is not white people's land. That's Europe. Well, it is. It is. It absolutely is white people's land. We fought a war over it. Duh, it got conquered. What? Absolutely it is. It's been our land for hundreds of years. Of course. Obviously. It got conquered, yes.
I would.
And so that's it. America is not white people's land. That's Europe. Well, it is.
Okay, first of all, I implore you to go to multiple countries in Europe and say that that's white people's land, and then find out how you get treated. I beg you, go to Italy and say, you guys are white people. I beg you, go to Greece and call those people white people. Okay, I can't speak on all Europeans, but I can speak on the Europeans that have not majority, but like a large population in New York. And I've run into a lot of Italians, and I've run into a lot of Greek people. And I will tell you, they don't appreciate being called woke, white. They don't appreciate it. Or, God forbid, go to like Eastern European countries, any Balkan countries or like Slavic countries, and call them white people and say this is white people's land. Dude, you will get stabbed. Okay, you're getting a shiv. All right, you're getting multiple shivs if you start calling any Balkans white or any Slavic people white or like any European country that lives off of the Mediterranean. Call those people white. Say this is white people's land. I mean, I don't even think European people like being called European. I'm pretty sure you have to refer to them as the nation or like their actual nationality, okay? So that's for starters, just really quickly. This is so factually untrue. It's actually insane. We didn't fight a war over keeping America white?
It absolutely is white people's land. We fought a war over it.
We never fought a war over this being white people's land. If he's talking about the indigenous people, we just genocided them, so that's not a war. And if he's talking about our break from the British Empire, that was not about us being white. That was not about Americans being white. That's about not wanting, first of all, taxation without representation, but also the persecution of the crown in a place where it didn't feel like it mattered and didn't feel like it was important. Unless you're talking about the Civil War, in which case that's not about our country being white. That was because people wanted to own slaves. Because people enjoyed their slave labor and the wealth that came with the slave labor. Mexican-American War, where we got Texas maybe. But again, that wasn't about a war about making or keeping America white. That was, we want this land, we will kill you until we get it. Like, these are the cause of these wars was not due to whiteness. An imperialist expansion war is not because of whiteness. Also, white nationalists lost that war pretty badly. So, sorry, but I have to watch. Let's watch more.
Japan's biggest nightlife district, with a reputation for being dirty and gritty, filming bin bags, litter, and homeless people. In the short form content, the same videos show the litter being intercut at times with foreign tourists, who are queuing unremarkably to take a photo of the Toho Godzilla statue. Although the angle of the statue...
Bro,
what is with white people? They have to, wherever they go, they have to do.
If I speak.
Tyler Oliveira style videos, I think. Like, is that just like an epigenetic thing? Like, what the fuck's going on? Everywhere you go, you got to be like, listen, this place is racist, but not racist enough for my taste, okay? Because, like, complaining about foreigners in Japan as a foreigner is the most insane thing I can think of. Brother,
these people just don't understand. You just don't understand. Like, it's not about him being white. It's about the fact that he doesn't go there and cause trouble and make trouble, cause drama. He fits in with the culture. That's the issue.
You're the foreigner. Like, what are you talking about? They're like, hey, these guys are pretty racist, pretty xenophobic. But honestly, they could go harder.
Well, here's the way I see it, right? Political commentary about white.
Can I just say, these people love to virtue signal about how countries should remain free of, like, foreigners. That's their right as a country. But I promise you, if Japan was like, we're not allowing white people anymore, these people would all have a meltdown. If they were like, you know, there was a very sad story I heard from a friend of mine who's half Japanese, and they went to Japan visiting and stuff. And they asked people, who do you think of when you think of an American? And you know what people said? Logan Paul. Is that not the most depressing thing you've ever heard in your goddamn life? I just disintegrated? Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I hate Logan Paul as much as the next person. Is that most Europeans view Americans too? Listen, I can't even really be mad, to be honest with you. But you know, if Japan tomorrow was like, yeah, we're not allowing white people anymore because, you know, we agree with Asmongold, you know, countries should be allowed to keep out whoever they want. And if they don't want foreigners, they shouldn't have foreigners. So, you know, when we think of Americans, we think of Logan Paul, and we don't want these people in our country anymore. Every single one of these rightoids would have a fucking meltdown. They would have a conniption about it.
People in Japan. The thing is that a lot of people say the same thing about other minorities in America, and people call them racist. Hasan says this about white people in Japan, and people say, oh, yeah, so true. There's an obvious double standard that's going on here. Everybody knows this. Everybody is aware of this, and people are expected to pretend like it doesn't.
My favorite Asmongold-ism. Everybody knows this thing that is false. Thing that is not even remotely true. Everybody knows this. You can walk on water. Everybody knows this.
Exist. But yes, absolutely, that's what's happening. Hasan's a foreigner to the U.S., and he grew up in Turkey. He's born in the U.S. It's half and half, right? And so the point is that really, I mean, if you want to criticize that or say that, there's a lot of people, if you are a foreigner in Japan because you're white, then what does that make every other person that's not white in America? How about that? Not so.
You see, there's one fundamental issue with your line of reasoning, which is that America is literally the home of immigrants. It was founded, now, admittedly, on genocide. Besides the fact that it was founded on genocide, it was founded by people who wanted to leave their countries because they didn't feel like their country was a home to them anymore. Or because they wanted a better life somewhere else. It is literally... America is literally the home of immigrants. It's like, there are a lot of things that today, if they were published, they'd be considered woke, that I feel like everybody grew up with when they were younger, and no one thought it was woke, like calling America a melting pot. That a bunch of cultures come together and create something, hopefully, better. So like, and there are like smaller versions of this where like Italian Americans, they're not really Americans, but they're also not really Italians. If you took like Tony Soprano and put him in like Italy, they'd be considered a slob. Probably not like, cultured enough, right? But he's an Italian American. But he's not an American, but he's not making them that in Italy. New York pizza is great though. Yeah, but it's not Italian pizza. It's Italian American pizza, right? Like buffalo chicken pizza is like a New York staple that I personally enjoy. It is not Italian. And it's the same thing with a lot of things in American culture. So like even Chinese food, there's this really good, I think it's like a Vice video, maybe it was a Vox video, I don't know, about like how American Chinese food, and American Chinese immigrants or American Chinese people have created a whole new genre of foods and flavors, partially because you get like a wider variety to like new things that you otherwise wouldn't have in that region, but also partially to adapt to the taste of Americans so that you can sell to Americans. And we have a bunch of foods that are not, these are not Chinese like dishes. I think chop suey is like not a Chinese dish. It's a Chinese American dish that the Chinese people who immigrated here created to better suit the palate of Americans. And now it has become American, like Chinese American food. And there's a lot of stuff like that that sort of feeds into this theory of like a melting pot. And again, all of us grew up with the same fucking nonsense. If you grew up in the United States, you grew up with like the whole melting pot stuff and how like cultures coming together, and not necessarily like integrating, but like trying to make something new, keeping your authentic self while creating and forming something new that's even better was like a very prevalent idea. And now we're all just pretending like that never happened and it's always been woke and this is not a country of immigrants. This has never been a country of immigrants. It's like tell that to the Italians, tell that to the Irish, tell that to the Filipinos, tell that to the Chinese Americans that built our fucking railroads. Like tell that to all the Central and South Americans that came and built everything else.
Ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing to say. The reason why there's a big difference between people like abroad in Japan and PewDiePie versus somebody like Johnny Somali or one of these other people that come to America and want to Japan, or some of the people that come here to the United States, actually the majority of legal immigrants that come here to the United States come here and they assimilate into the culture and they don't cause any problems. They're not trying to make everything different. They're not trying to change things. They're trying to just simply exist inside of a different culture. That's the big difference. So it's like you want to look at all the Logan Pauls and the Johnny Somalis and then say this is a white people problem. I don't really think so. Last time I checked, Johnny Somali's not white at all. And so that's it. America is not white people's land. That's Europe. Well, it is.
What the fuck was that segue? About how people come to America and they aren't trying to cause trouble? You've literally said you don't care if someone is trying to cause trouble or not. And if they're, and like, let me just say, he's even gone so far as to say that he doesn't care if people have their legal documents and they are legally allowed to be here. No, Mahmoud Khalil, that guy had, was it a green card or a visa? Like he was legally allowed to be here. He was using his legal right to protest and using his freedom of speech. And a very American value, mind you. Freedom of speech, very American. One of the most American things you can do is use your freedom of speech. And what did he say? Well, I don't care. Deport him.
It absolutely is white people's land. We fought a war over it. Duh, it got conquered. What? Absolutely it is. It's been our land for hundreds of years. Of course.
I'm sorry, it's been our land for hundreds of years is so funny when you recognize the fact that the definition of white has changed so drastically over the past couple hundreds of years. That people that you're considering today, it's our land. He's considering, Irish people, Italian people, which were people that were not considered white in the history of the U.S. And again, going back to the other point, what war? What war could you even be talking about? Like, our break from the British Empire, the Civil War, the one about whether or not you can own slaves. Like, what the fuck are you, like, literally, what war could you even be fucking talking about that we fought to prove that America is the white people's land? Like, what the fuck? It's just, like, wrong on so many levels, and there's, like, no recognition of any of it. It's just, like, saying shit and then saying, everybody knows this.
Obviously. It got conquered, yes. Like, yeah, there's a whole war over this. Why do you think that the line is drawn in a certain way between Texas and Mexico? It's because of a war.
He's talking about. He's talking about. Okay. You know, like, I'll just let the Wikipedia article speak for itself. The Mexican-American War, also known in the United States as the Mexican War and in Mexico as the United States intervention in Mexico, was an invasion of Mexico by the U.S. Army. It's almost like it wasn't about fighting a war for white people and for white people's right to exist or whatever the fuck. And it was actually just imperial expansion because we wanted the land. It's almost like it was always a land grab. This is the equivalent, by the way. It's like literally 1-to-1, pretending like you invaded another country to protect them or to protect your rights or to protect what your country stands for or to protect against, in Putin's case, the Nazis in Ukraine is like nonsensical. It's just a might makes right because we want this. Yeah, that's nice, but like, we want this territory.
That's what happens. Brain rot tech. See, people don't think about this, but that's what happens. Yeah, bro, wars draw the lines.
Saying people don't speak about this, or people don't think about this, rather, is incredible when you're talking about a war that had nothing to do with America being designated as white people's land.
You can't own something like that. That's not how it works. It's getting clipped? Of course it will be. Yeah, welcome to civilization. This is the way every single country was formed. Every single one. Did we buy it? We bought the Louisiana Purchase from France, I believe. Chatter's dumb. If America isn't white, then Japan isn't because...
Obviously, no. But...
isn't Japanese because modern Japanese took over the land the same way? Yeah, a lot of people were not the original ancestors that lived in a certain area 3,000 or 5,000 years ago. The fact is that there have been demographic shifts that have occurred all over the world many, many times. This is just what's happened. You go back long enough and that's just the way it is. Anybody who is against that, anybody who's trying to lie about that, is just trying to make you feel bad for something that you didn't even do. That's it. And so it belongs to the dinosaurs. Exactly. There's no proper history taught in schools these days. American history is epic. Yeah. Bro, like, yeah, this we didn't steal the land. We conquered it.
It's so funny, too, because, like, if a predominantly black nation decided to go to war with the United States, if like literally the country of like, let's just pretend for 2 seconds Wakanda's real. They have all these crazy weapons. They invade the United States. They take over. They conquer. They would, Asmongold would be suspect number 1 to call it looting. Suspect number 1. It's only conquering. It's not genociding. It's only conquering if you're white. Because then you're just fighting for white rights.
We went in here, we killed everybody that was here, and we took it over. That's what happened. And that's the way every single other country... How do you think Zimbabwe was founded? How do you think Afghanistan was founded?
You know, I'm going to be honest with you.
How do you think China was founded?
I don't think he knows the answer to any of those things, actually. I don't actually think that he knows how Zimbabwe was founded, how China was founded. What was the third one that he listed? Oh, bye, Wormy. The idea that, like, China was founded because what? Like 10 people decided to go conquer some land? That, like, I think he said Afghanistan. I just have no words. Like, I just, like, literally, he's just, like, listing countries he knows nothing about and then saying, how do you think this happened? And then saying, I'm surprised he doesn't follow it up with, I don't know, but it's probably that they conquered a bunch of places.
It's the same way. Mongolia. Like, that's the way it was every single place. He
doesn't even understand that in human history, nation states are a relatively new concept.
Cry and say it's not our land. That's too fucking bad. Yeah, exactly. And so, anyway, come with disease many times. Breach burn. Nobody talks about this. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's just a guilt thing. You never let that guilt thing happen, right? Never let.
Using Zimbabwe as an example is wild, considering Zimbabwe is literally a decolonial state that came after Rhodesia fell. Well, yeah, but did you consider you're using logic and this is all about mold? Did you consider that for one moment? Like, this guy really thinks like the land that was colonized and the people that were here that were genocided in the United States, that they fought for their right to be indigenous by what? Murdering the people there. It's like he literally can't fundamentally understand that civilization can exist or that a people can exist or the idea of a nation, not really a hard nation, can exist without having conquered. Like, it's such American brain rot to think that it's like, it's not even American brain rot. It's like, I've only played Crusader Kings and that's my entire understanding of history. Ask me anything.
People take advantage of you like that. It's embarrassing. Even Mexico, yeah. And like they could have even kept going with the Mexican-American War. They could have even kept going, but they didn't. And that's it. The Ottoman Empire, anyone? Exactly, right? Thanks for raising this issue. Yeah, so anyway, this is what I think is funny, right? Eagle changed identity.
Sorry, but like the confirmation bias is so funny. Picking a bunch of countries or a bunch of nations or a bunch of empires and being like, see, this one I think agrees with me. Okay, moving on.
Fire again, no longer white, switch to infrared to keep them over them. Yeah, exactly. Complaining about foreigners as Japan as a foreigner is the most insane thing that I can think of. I can't make this shit up. What is this? What's the video?
Since I'll say this much. Since the last time I've been in Japan, this is my third time now.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot more fucking white people out here.
Oh, for sure.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't like it. All right?
And people are wondering why Nick Fuentes is getting popular.
Guys, comedy is illegal. Sorry. Also sorry. A name he's so happy to be seen by a politician. I almost teared up. Inshallah, he will win. Oh, I've seen a lot of people talk about how he's been great about trans rights. If it's a more recent announcement, I would appreciate if you could link it so we could watch it together. But like, a lot of progressives, and I'm going to put that in massive quotes, think that you can just throw trans people under the bus and that like we can allow trans genocide and that there won't be any repercussions, and as if that you aren't creating the permission structure for them to do that to literally every group of people they dislike. Like, genuinely, the dumbest thing that the Democrats ever did was fold for even 1 second on trans issues. Like, immigrants taking your jobs has been in the news cycle for over a decade. Like 2 decades, probably more, honestly, but that I can remember in my lifetime. It's been here since the 2000s about how the Mexicans are going to come and steal all of our jobs, but also they're all lazy, but also they're so hardworking that they're going to take all our jobs. They haven't figured out the narrative exactly, but Ashina, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. Thanks. They do it every few years. Yeah, so it's like, this is just regurgitated garbage. It's not surprising to me that Democrats fall in line again on the stupidest fucking issue, but like, this is the first time that the public has talked about trans issues and trans rights, and that trans people have become more visible than ever. Because trans people have always been around. It's just about whether or not they've been visible or people have been aware of what it is to be trans and trans people in general. And the fact that they just immediately just gave up and were like, yep, we don't care. It's like, okay. All right. I'm good. Oh, thank you. Awesome, Stella. Let me see. Oh my God. We'll watch this later. But when we're doing our Mom Donnie segment. And I'm sure you guys saw, like, there was some poll that was like, how many people identify as trans in 2025 versus 2024 or 23. Vesh, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. Thanks. Thank you. Are you going to stream the election? Probably. I'd like to power through. Plus, I didn't stream on Friday, so maybe we can power through. Maybe we can do like a co-stream or something. Anyways, okay. Let me pull up this clip. Oh, I just want to say also, well, no, we'll save that for later. Someone remind me to talk about Cutie Cinderella addressing everything. And I just have to say, I am not one of the groups of people that she hurt. I'm not trans, and I can't speak on behalf of the trans community. I can only speak as a cis person. But from where I was standing when I watched her stream, I really appreciated how much she seemed to care. And I've seen a lot of people being like, oh, she's just, not like a lot, but I've seen a handful of people being like, oh, she's just being performative. It's like, you have to understand that functionally, what I want is for people to feel like they need to apologize if they say fucked up shit. Like, I don't care whether or not the person is doing it performatively or not. What matters is that everyone sees that this person is saying that they appreciate, that they apologize and they understand the harm that they did. So I care about the actions here, and I care about the fact that she didn't just ignore it and like pretend like it wasn't a problem. Because it's a signal to everyone else that you can't just, and you shouldn't just ignore stuff. Right? What she's taken, we'll talk about it a little bit, but I just wanted to say it really feels good to give people, not the benefit of the doubt, but to give people the space to learn why what they said was harmful, and then internalize it, and then apologize and move past it. Because she did. She basically said she apologized for the way it sounded, and she apologized for the things that she said, and that she shouldn't have said that, and she shouldn't have been dismissive, and she shouldn't have spoke with condescension. And yeah, I appreciated that. It was yeah. So anyways, we'll talk about it later. All right. But I was trying to find this. Oh my God. Wait, sorry. I just remembered. I've been gone for so long. There's been so many smaller stories. This too. I'm sure many of you have seen this at this point.
He has this command place, which is basically if I snap my finger and point, he will run to that place and lay down.
You don't have to zap him. Like
No.
Hasan.
Not like Hasan Piker. No.
Wasn't that disgusting?
No electrocution of dogs here.
How disgusting is that? What does that tell you about a person?
Well, I think it tells you that they're not, that they're bad people.
Yes.
If you can actually cause suffering to an innocent animal, you're probably the kind of person who doesn't worry about suffering in people as well.
Yeah.
And that's been my experience. If you mistreat dogs, that's almost 100% sign that you're going to be a really terrible person. So it's one of the ways, we really sort of test people is if Atlas responds well to them, if they like Atlas, we know they're good people. But you can tell if somebody's really mean to animals, it's like the Jeffrey Dahmer thing.
Yeah.
Like every serial killer ever has actually been really bad to animals. That's sort of how they started. He has this command.
What a crazy line of attack. That's so insane. First of all, denying SNAP benefits to 40 million Americans and then saying, I don't have any evidence that Hasan shocked his dog. And actually every single person around him has said that it's a vibration collar or it's a shock collar that's been confirmed to become a vibration collar. Because they keep holding on to this cutie clip where she says, yeah, I think it used to be a shock collar and now it's a vibration collar. So literally no one is confirmed. Not a single person is confirmed that Kaya was shocked. No one. And they're still holding on to this. But then you can just easily just remove 40 million people off of SNAP benefits, because who cares if Americans starve? Because there's a guy who everyone thinks is shocking their dog. Who cares about the fact that Kristi Noem, and I was going to bring this up, and then this fucker pre-watched my brain. Kristi Noem is in your administration, having written a book about how she fucking point blank executed her puppy for misbehaving. And that was supposed to be proof that she can do the hard things in life. Like, executing her fucking puppy. Can you imagine typing this chat? Can you imagine typing this and not being able to hold up a mirror for 2 seconds? Oh my God, dude. Please get a life. I mean that with peace and love. Please get a life. All right. One sec. Yeah, I fucking hate that there are so many people that have clung to this hasan dog abuse, whatever fucking narrative. Meanwhile, none of these people actually care. It's just obvious that this is a vector that they can attack someone that they dislike, right? Because if they cared about... Where's this fucking... I can't believe I, like, lost this fucking video. Oh, hi, Wormy. Wormy. Do you want to sit? I don't know why, but she only wants to sit on me nowadays when I'm streaming. She's like the opposite of Meerkat. If I'm streaming, Meerkat does not want to sit on me. But when I'm streaming, Wormy suddenly now she's like, I have to sit on you now. She knows you can't escape. Yeah. She's actually telling me place. That's the actual truth. Oh, all right. Can I find, I'm just going to look it up. Denim's cat shocks her. Yes. Yes. We know which way the shock collar is going in this relationship. Dude, I used to have like a normal cloth collar. A normal collar. Just like a normal cloth collar. And I got one for Wormy. And it was so cute. It was like a little Sailor Moon one. But then I don't know what's wrong with my brain. No, I know what's wrong with my brain. I have stupid fucking human brain. Which means that I anthropomorphize everything just like everybody else. But I was like, she's supposed to be a free worm. She should not be held back by a collar. Cats are meant to be free animals. They're wild little creatures. I can't give her a collar. She's meant to be free. She shouldn't have to wear a collar just because I think it's cute. She's cute without it. And then that's why I don't have a collar for my cats. Plus, they don't go outside, so it's not like I have to worry about, like... Because I did think about for a little bit getting an air tag for her, but I don't let them out, and they don't want to go out. Like, they don't dart out. Because I've had cats that dart out, and they don't dart out. The only time I take her out is when she's on, she's in a harness. So, she doesn't need one. But she's so cute. Okay, sorry, I just got distracted. Brainworms. Finally, let's watch. It took me a second. I don't know if you guys know this. Comedy is illegal. Making fun of minorities, classic comedy. Making fun of majorities, unbelievable, impeachable offense, straight to jail, lethal injection. You cannot make fun of majorities. It is not a joke. If you make fun of white people, you are not joking. If you make fun of men, you are not joking. If you make fun of straight people, you are not joking. If you make fun of cis people, you are not joking. You are always being 100% serious if you are talking about any of these groups. Now, if you're talking about black people, always joked. It's always a funny joke. If you're talking about women, it's always a funny joke. If you're talking about gay people, it's always a funny joke. You can make as many of those jokes as you want. They're always jokes. They're always hilarious memes. But if you make any jokes about white people, there is no way that you could have been joking. It obviously has to be that you are 100% serious in every single way, shape, and form.
And people wonder. Man. The thing is that I think that
I like how when women were complaining about like the humongous guy, do you guys remember this? This is like ancient memes. This is like you got to go all the way back to like 2016 Gamergate era. But there was like this guy, for any old heads in chat, who like got, I'll just play it.
You take my picture? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want my name?
Yeah, sure.
It's humongous.
Okay. Humongous what? Humongous what?
Humongous.
Humongous what?
Humongous.
Humongous what?
Humongous.
Humongous what?
That's what it is.
Humongous what? Is that sexual harassment?
No, it's humongous.
Then why did you say that to me?
That's my name.
What? Humongous what?
Humongous what?
Humongous what? Is that